Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a hump day edition of the JP Peterson Show here. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Oh, my goodness. We got props. Tim Ham.
Yep, y'all don't even know.
Oh, my God. He's already seen it. He's seen the preview. You guys have no idea what you're about to be hit with here today. Highly produced podcast here today. We're coming to you live from the Tampa Bay area and, of course, in Dallas. My good friend IndyCar. Tim, what's up, Timmy? How are you?
Doing well. It's a chilly 52-degree morning this morning. Drove into the studio with the sunroof open, the windows down.
Nice.
My pup barking out of the back window, barking at other dogs driving around this morning.
I got to turn the fan on here. It's a little hot in the studio here this morning, the home studio.
It's a good day.
I was going to head into our South Tampa studio this morning, but had some other personal things come up. So I'm here, and I've spent my time here very diligently preparing for you people a presentation that will show you unequivocally how fiscally irresponsible it would be to repair the Trop and build a new stadium in a failed location. Now, some of you will probably learn a little bit. Most of you will learn a lot, and we're going to put it in very plain numbers what the St. Pete City Council and the Pinellas County Commission has before them in the next 2 weeks, where they could save their constituents $2.4 billion. $2.4 billion. That's how much money they could save here. So we'll get into that. We got lots of Bucks talk coming your way as well. Scott Reynolds going to join us at 10:30. He's very well aware that yesterday I called for the Bucks to move on from Todd Bowles during this bye week, install Liam Cohen as the head coach, and try and save this season and moving forward, keep a head coach, an offensive-minded head coach that likely will be highly in demand after the season. So he will weigh in on that as well. Leo Haggerty will join us in our second hour to talk some USF football, their new stadium that's on the way, the basketball game last night, which was very, very interesting and poignant for many reasons with the obviously recent tragic death of Amir Abdur-Rahim. First game there, their first win of the season. So we'll get to all that. We got college football playoff insanity. This poll is it's funny. And it's not the final poll. We know that, but it's just funny. Kind of funny. Anyway, what little production here? What are we doing? Honey, can you come get Tally, please? She's really loud. That's how we have to do this sometimes, She just went for a walk, and she's been
back there panting.
Yeah. And I have to thank the lovely Ashley here for preparing the beauty that you're about to see on my boards, my prop boards, because, of course, I wasn't going to use my handwriting because you would never be able to understand any of it. All right, so without further ado, let's get into this craziness that is the Tropicana Field. So yesterday, we get the repair costs and what's going to happen. We have a column from John Romano, which, once again, I just can't believe some of the stuff that's in there, but we'll get to all that. And we have the mayor, Ken Welch, talking about his plan to move forward with this ridiculous idea of a new stadium in a failed location. Now, we've gone through all that, but it has absolutely so much more meaning now post two hurricanes that have absolutely wrecked Pinellas County and the city of St. Petersburg, produced millions and millions of dollars worth of damage and obvious needs for money to be spent on stormwater drainage and repairs moving forward. And to even have the chance at a mulligan is an absolute blessing for both the commission and city council. And also the political makeup now of the Pinellas County Commission seems almost assuredly that they are going to reject the bonds that would pay for half of the stadium and then, or their part of the stadium. And that would sink the deal right there. It would end right there. And if they're smart, that's what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. So here's kind of the nuts and bolts of what we learned yesterday. So the repair on the Trop is going to be basically about $55 to $60 million. And by the way, these estimates are as loosely done as possible. I mean, really had that. Yes, they've had inspectors and people get in there. But folks, once you start repairing things like this, Timmy, have you ever tried to like save a repair on something? Like you get something that's old and you're like, you know what? Let's see if we can rehab this thing. I think we can do this and we can do that. And then it'll be good as new. Right. And invariably what happens, you start tinkering around when then this breaks and then that breaks, you find out about this and then you find out about that. And oh, by the way, there's another hurricane going to be arriving in about a week. And it could go right over Tropicana Field once again. And the $6.5 million that they've already appropriated to kind of remediate everything that has already been done and cover it up so it doesn't get further damaged, they're not going to be able to do that in time. So they could get another 3 feet of rain in that place and even more damage. So this $6.5 million remediation price tag could go through the roof. And all of this stuff could go through the roof. None of these numbers that you're seeing here are the absolute cost. And I can tell you one thing, they ain't going down. They're not going to go down, right? That's not usually how it works, right?
No.
So these are all just estimates. And again, this is best case scenario. So according to the Times, the Tropicana Field can be repaired in time for the 26 season. So you're already going to lose the 25 season playing there. For $55.7 million. Estimates that Hurricane Milton caused $39 million in damage and additional $16 million in costs, such as design, permitting, insurance, inspection, staffing, and construction contingency. So that's all money that's got to go. Now, you've also got a $22 million deductible, right? So the cost is going to be ridiculous. The St. Pete mayor, Ken Welch, and this is unbelievable. It says, according to the original 1995 with the team, the pact is suspended if the dome is not suitable for playing home games and shall be extended by one season so they can continue to play there. My initial reaction from Ken Welch speaking is that it did fall on the lower cost side. The lower cost side. Oh, we're going to be good. It's not that much money. Oh, my God. And the fact that our folks think it could be done quickly is really best case scenario for us. Dude, what are you spinning? What are you spinning? Now, this has become a vanity project that the city of St. Pete and specifically Ken Welch has got at all costs. It doesn't matter what it costs. We've got to keep the Rays. Oh, my God. Just write a blank check. It doesn't matter. We have to keep the Rays. Do you? Do you really? My God. He continues, at an obligation of the city under the existing agreement to provide a facility. And to me, it certainly would answer the question of where the Rays would play in 26 through 28, a repaired Trop. Oh, isn't that exciting? A repaired Trop, by the way, with what? Another fabric roof that's going to get torn off on the next hurricane? What are we doing? He says, I think it's best for all if the Rays are back home for the remainder of the existing agreement. Rays team president Matt Silverman said, quote, we'll continue to have discussions with the city about how to move forward. That's it. That's all you get from the Rays. For about a month now, that's all you got from the Rays. No, we're committed to Tampa Bay. We love our fans. We're going to figure this out. We're going to stay in the region. You took the Major League Baseball commissioner to say we're going to stay in the Tampa Bay region. That didn't come from Stu. No, it didn't. And think about that. The Major League Baseball commissioner said, we're committed to Tampa Bay, not your owner, who just got a $1.3 billion stadium approved with hundreds of millions of dollars in discounts on real estate and everything else. But he could not stand up and say, no, we're going to stay in Tampa Bay. No, that was the commissioner. Think about that. And in John Romano's column, he says, hey, if the Rays don't provide a facility by contractually they're supposed to do, they're open to damaging costs. So you're telling me, John, that Stu Sternberg is going to sue the city of St. Petersburg if they can't play in Tropicana Field? Seriously. Is he going to do that? After all that he just got, after bashing this city for so long and then getting all this corporate welfare, he's going to turn around and sue the city for this unfortunate thing? Really? That's what you're worried about. And if, as a columnist, you can't say that would be a really bad idea for Stu to do that. You're going to, what? If Stu Sternberg's going to sue the city because they can't provide a place to play, I'd like to see that. I would really like to see that. And in the statement that the mayor released, he said the city plans to meet its obligations to ensure that the Rays can play in St. Pete and the redevelopment of the historic gas plant district and the construction of a new stadium moving forward. As such, the city is implementing repairs to Tropicana Field with the hope it will be ready for play in the 2026 season. So we still have to figure out where we're playing in 25. We anticipate that the majority of repair costs incurred by the city will be covered by insurance and FEMA reimbursements. FEMA says you're eligible, but this is me speaking now. Says you're eligible, but nothing is guaranteed. And by the way, the insurance money is not guaranteed either at this point. And every insurance person I talked to said, you don't repair your roof and it's 10 years overdue, you don't get money. But that's something for another day. We got to spin it the best we can right now. He continues, making this approach both beneficial for community spirit and fiscally responsible for our community. Fiscally responsible for our community. Wow. Let's look at that. I have some charts.
Here we go.
We got color charts. Okay. See if we can do this. Okay, this is the cost to retain the Rays. See if we can get that right there. All right. $6.5 million to save the Trop now. That's in remediation costs to cover everything up. So this net, and by the way, and they're not going to be able to do it before this storm hits next week, if indeed it does. But there could be storms, other storms. We have lots of rain here, by the way. So that's $6.5 million that you already had to spend. Okay. I'll take some music. 30 to 35 million to repair for 3 years of playing in the Trop. A repaired Trop, by the way. What's that going to look like? Mm-hmm. That's another 30 to 30, and that's at the low end. That's if there's no unexpected costs. Then you have $704 million to St. Pete, their payment in infrastructure and interest, not the $300 million that you see printed all the time. This is also the interest costs. And by the way, you have to pay interest if you're going to do bonds. So that's real money, which is never printed in the paper, but we always say about it here. $704 million. Okay. Then there's $587 million coming from Pinellas County for their part of the stadium. You think that money, that bed tax money, could be used better for rebuilding the beaches in future hurricanes? Because they do come. $543, $411 million in lost real estate tax. All these coming from, by the way, nohomerun.com, and the study that they did was prepared by folks and administrators that have done these things before. These are all highly credible numbers, by the way. Go look at the website, nohomerun.com. We talked about it a lot. That's a total city and county cost of $1.7 billion to retain the Rays and build a stadium in a failed location that gives you last year 16,000 average attendance. 1.7, a lot of which is not coming from St. Pete, by the way. 16,000 average attendance. Will it bump with a new stadium? Maybe. Likely only for a little bit because you're still in the same failed location. $1.7 billion to retain a baseball team. And by the way, if they do leave, you know where they're going? Tampa. They're going to Tampa. There we go. By the way, I texted with Ken Hagan this morning. I said, is there still a pathway? And he said, I'll say the same thing I've said many times. If it doesn't work out, you can always come back and chat with Hillsborough County. So, yes, there is a pathway. We have no money there. A true public-private partnership where there's not just a blank check written to a billionaire. Yes, it's a way to do it. So if you allow the Rays to go to Tampa, okay, you save $1.7 billion, okay? Then just easily done. You could sell the real estate, the 86 acres, for a very, very conservative $750 million, likely closer to $1 billion or more, to any developer that would jump at the chance. And they'll do all the infrastructure. They'll pay for everything. You don't have to pay for anything, citizens. You just sit back and collect money and have your downtown improve dramatically with what? A convention center that actually people will, from outside the area, will come to in the millions. In the millions. And by the way, much of that will come from Tampa business, which you can stick it to them, which you so love to do. You can also build the museum too, because you just made a lot of money. And then you can have residential as well. You can have all kinds of commercial that you don't have to pay for. The developer does. Well, what can we use that money for, JP? Oh, it's great that you asked. We could repair the hurricane damage, including the beach repair, stormwater damage, which, by the way, there was tons. Lots of sewage that backed up into Tampa Bay. There's a lot to do. So the total adjusted benefit to the city of St. Petersburg and Pinellas County is a conservative $2.45 billion. $2.45 billion. If you just say, we can't afford the bonds, we get a mulligan thanks to the hurricanes, and now we can bring some sanity and some fiscal sanity to St. Petersburg, allow the Rays to move to Tampa, have them incur the cost of the new stadium. Most of it's going to be privately funded, by the way. There will be some public money, but privately funded, and not a blank check, and money that will return to the constituents and get some return on investment, whereas this deal that Ken Welch did gives you very little return on investment, hardly any, because it's such a horrible deal for the city and the county. Now, factually speaking, the county makeup of their commission includes two guys that the Rays spent $150,000 on trying to defeat in their elections. And what do you know? They won. And they're anti-stadium. So if the Pinellas County folks who have delayed their bond vote till actually this week, the 14th, right? Yes, tomorrow. And they may delay it even more just to get more answers. That sinks the whole deal. And if the people of St. Petersburg, and what do you think the people, if they got to vote on this today, if they got to, and they were denied the right to vote on it, by the way, because the Mayor Welch knew it would fail. They wouldn't even take a straw ballot because he knew it would fail remarkably. The people don't want it. And so now Mayor Welch and the commission, which is going to have a different makeup. Now he can force a vote before the commission sits for the new makeup, which would probably be a negative 4-3 vote and sink the deal as well. But he probably will try to push it through before the makeup happens because he's been doing this all along. Fiscally responsible. I can't believe he put that in the statement. Fiscally responsible, $2.45 billion in cost to the people of St. Petersburg to retain the Rays. To retain the Rays that you get 16,000 people at per game. Nobody goes. Your constituents don't go. Your own people who live in your county don't go and don't care. Most of it's from Hillsborough County. Like, this is the most fiscally irresponsible thing I've ever seen in my life. And we have an opportunity to do a mulligan. And I say we because I look at the Tampa Bay area that I've lived in for 27 years, including living in Pinellas County and spending a lot of my time and working in Pinellas County for much of that time, loving Pinellas County. I never see it as two different places. I always see it as the Tampa Bay area. And from a globalistic viewpoint, this is absolute insanity. Insanity to even be thinking about doing this. And so here we sit with a chance to have a mulligan and say, look, we have a much clearer perspective now of where we should be spending our money and what we should be doing with it. And luckily we have a chance to get rid of this deal, scrap it, and do it all over again. Now, you say, JP, well, that may mean we'll lose the Rays. I don't think that's going to happen. As I said, there is still a pathway to a stadium in Tampa, and it is not about Tampa versus St. Pete. I'm so sick of this. This is the beautiful area that we live in, and every part of it has great assets that make it, to me, the most beautiful part to live in and the most beautiful place to be. Pinellas County has beautiful beaches. Let's take care of them. Let's make them better. Let's use this money for more parking. Hell, I saw somebody talking about a skyway over the top to the beaches. What a great tourist attraction that would be. Let's make it greater for the tourists to come to the beaches, and a convention center that brings more heads and beds than baseball will ever even think about doing. Okay? And a baseball stadium in that area, that part just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's 81 games, Monday through Thursday. People don't show. It's too far to drive from the middle of the market. You know all the arguments, folks. They still exist. They still exist, and they're the most important part of this. Location, location, location. You are surrounded by water. If you draw a circle within 60 miles of that, 50% of it is water. Water. You build something in Tampa in the fairgrounds. I love my huge dual stadium idea.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that. That's a little too pie in the sky because I want to keep it grounded right here. All right, there is still an opportunity to build something that's fiscally responsible to the entire area. Tampa is the hub. That's where most of the businesses are. That's where the international airport is. It's the business center community. It's where the stadium should all be. It's not, oh, you've got this, then we should have this. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. It's called demographics. It's not, we want to keep our Rays because we feel we have an inferiority complex to Tampa. What are we doing? No, that's so childish and provincial. This is where the stadium should be. This is where the beautiful beaches and eclectic downtown is. That's freaking awesome. I love downtown St. Pete. I love Al Lang Field for soccer. I love the Vinoy. It's beautiful. It's awesome. You don't need a stadium that you're trying to push so hard to get just because you don't want to be the little brother. You're not. You're part of the family. You're not the little brother. You're part of the family, and you bring so much to the family. What you don't need is a baseball stadium. As a region, let's connect everything. Let's use some of this money for some comprehensive light rail that connects us instead of divides us. How about that idea? Have a rail from downtown St. Pete to downtown Tampa and a nice little stop. So the constituents that love baseball don't even have to worry about traffic. Zip, zip, zip. You're there. Let's bring some common sense to this. This is insanity what you're about to do. I got to use the prop one more time. Look at that number. $2.45 billion. That's a lot. I can't even get it. There it is. $245 billion. And what are you missing out on? Your constituents can still go to baseball games. It doesn't cost you anything. I've said this so many times. When Atlanta was going through that, when I was working there for a couple of years, and they announced the new Brave Stadium, and the mayor said, look, I didn't have money for the Brave Stadium, and they want to build it in Cobb County, let them build it. My constituents can still go to and I don't have to worry about paying the money. You didn't lose the Braves. You got a better stadium for everybody in a better spot where the fans are. That seems kind of smart. And I want to go down the blame game, but listen, you had a chance in 2018 to build this stadium in Tampa where it's supposed to be. It would be done. We wouldn't have these issues that we're having now. And it was irresponsible at the time for the owner to pull the plug because it was going to cost him a little bit of money. And it would have made him so much money in the long run. How much more valuable the franchise would be worth because your attendance would be so much more. But obviously it's always short-term for that owner and never a view of what's best for the area, only what's best for him. And he sits here being completely silent while this complete fiasco plays off. So what do? Here's what you do. You vote it down. And you say that you looked at the Rays in the eye and say, really, you guys are going to sue us because we can't provide you a stadium? Really? Is that what you're going to do, Stu? Dare him to do it. Dare him to do it.
Yeah.
Dare him. And then say, here's what we're going to do is we're going to move. We're going to play in Steinbrenner Field for 3 years. and start working on building a stadium in the Tampa area, in the middle of the market, where it always should be, where it always should have been, where Major League Baseball always wanted it to be, and end this sanity and do something that's fiscally responsible for the entire area. That's what we do. And it's not that hard to do. You can't play at Steinberg because it's a Yankee. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Major League Baseball will make that happen. They've already told me at the TSA that it's eminently doable with the minor league team there. That's not something it's unworkable, that what so many people say. You cover up all the Yankee signage with temporary signage, which you can do. It's easily done. And you make this your home as best you can for the 3 years while you bring people together in the market playing outdoors. Hey, that sounds fun. For 3 years in the middle of the market to a packed house every single night, 15,000 people. You're building momentum towards the Rays Stadium that's going to be built. You're coalescing the fan base together finally. And I would highly suggest Major League Baseball tell Stu to cash out, bring in a local owner who cares about this city and has demonstrated that. There's many to choose from, and there's local people here that still want to buy the Rays under this scenario. And we move everything forward. That's all that is positive moving forward. Anything else is completely negative and fiscally irresponsible to a place that's been wrecked by 2 hurricanes. Let's do the right thing.
And may have a third on the way.
And may have a third on the way. And something that will always exist, by the way. Can we just have some sanity to this, please? Would you like to
know how we do things here in North Texas, JP?
Sure, I would, yeah.
Because we just have 2 stadiums here built in the last 15 years, obviously.
Yeah.
Cowboy Stadium was the big one.
It's not that hard.
Of course, Arlington already has an infrastructure for this, all right? They just built the old Ranger Stadium, the ballpark in Arlington. It opened in 94. The Cowboys saw the growth that the city had there. They saw that the city offered literally everything. So the original Cowboy Stadium was going to cost $650 million.
Mm-hmm.
That was the initial price tag. The city of Arlington said, all right, you know what? We'll chip in $325. We'll pay for half.
Okay.
Jerry Jones said, cool deal. You know what? I'll privately fund the other half. And if there's any overages, it's on me. Appreciate you guys. City of Arlington already owned the land. They just went in and bulldozed a bunch of freaking houses in eminent domain, right? That was a neighborhood that was built in the 50s. All right. They just kicked everybody out of their houses and said, we're going to put a stadium here. Which,
well,
hey, progress.
They paid them. Right? They paid them handsomely.
Oh, they did. Trust me. I know 2 of the families that were in that neighborhood. So anything that goes over the 650, Jerry Jones said, I got it.
I got it.
You know what the final tab was for that stadium? $1.3 billion, over double the original cost.
Mm-hmm.
And Jerry Jones, with the exception of $150 million, because that's what you get from the league now automatically when you build a stadium in the form of a loan.
Mm-hmm.
And then the city of Arlington, after the overages, said, you know what? We'll chip in another $150 because of all, just out of the grace of our hearts through other tax, raising taxes, hotel, motel, rental car, whatever, parking taxes.
Mm-hmm.
$1.3 billion, and Jerry Jones flipped over half of that out of his own money. The Rangers come along and said, hey, we want to build a new stadium. We need a roof. It's hot. We want to win a World Series.
Right.
The Rangers already owned the property the stadium was on because it was in a parking lot of their old stadium. City of Arlington says, cool, we'll flip half the bill. And it was $1.2 billion. City of Arlington flipped it. Raised whatever rental car taxes through the tourism, right? That's how you do this.
Yeah.
Tourism.
Yeah. Right.
It's
not that hard.
No, the owner said, you know what? Any of the overages, I got. It's all on me.
That's what good owners do. That's what good owners do. And the problem and everybody wants to point fingers at Hillsborough doesn't have any money. It is blah, blah, blah. It's been Stu Sternberg all along. You have willing owners. Look at all over baseball. Look at all over football. You have willing owners that want to partner with the community. This is not hard to do. When you have an owner that wants to soak every single penny out of the community and not pay for a damn thing himself, you can't get it done because most of the sane politicians, Rick Kreisman, Baker, every other mayor, the city of Tampa is like, no, we're not giving you a blank check, bro. I know you want to be here, and he did want to be here. They've said it many times, but they come to Hillsborough and go, you got to pay for everything. And they're like, no, we're not doing that. You want to do a public-private partnership? We'd be happy to do it. And they've bent over backwards hundreds of times and tried to get something done. But this guy is intransigent, and he refuses to deal in good faith. And this is what you get. And all these things that are happening right now, hurricanes, that's bad. None of it should have happened. That building is 10 years past its use, and everybody knows it should have been replaced. And when the owner, who would be fiscally responsible and has now made $2 billion on his investment, $1.5 billion conservatively, can't come out of his pocket to make things happen. It's unconscionable that Major League Baseball would allow this to continue to happen. Let him sell, take your huge freaking profits, get the hell out, and bring somebody in who cares about this place and cares about Tampa Bay and wants to do the right thing and make it happen. Major League Baseball, a lot of this is on you.
Yeah.
A lot of this is on you.
This should never have gotten to this point.
Yes.
If Major League Baseball steps in.
Absolutely.
Which makes you wonder,
mm-hmm.
Does Major League Baseball really care about baseball in Tampa?
They do.
I know, but it's a bad look.
Smart. They're not stupid. There's a lot of money to be made here.
Right, but it's a bad. What I'm saying is it's a bad look for baseball.
It is a bad look. It's a really bad look, and now you're going to have two teams playing in minor league stadiums that didn't have to happen. And in both cases, the owners have been the problem. In both cases, John Fisher, Stu Sternberg, the owners have been the problem. In other places, these things get done quite easily because there's a lot of money for everybody to make. So
yeah, it's bad.
We'll revisit this in about a half an hour because right now we have to talk about another weighty issue in the Tampa Bay sports community, and that's what the hell is going on with our Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And who better to address this situation than Scott Reynolds of the Pewter Report, who is the absolute, I think, Bible when it comes to things like this, because you have great perspective on so many coaching changes that have gone on with this franchise. And we've been there for all of them, buddy, right? And it sucks that people lose their jobs, but look, you get into this job as a head coach, you know what you're in for.
Yeah.
You either win or you're gone.
Yeah, that's right. It is.
Good morning to you, my friend. Your hair.
Good morning to you. It's a win-loss business. I've always believed that coaches should be judged by the win-loss column, not the Sunday column. Not that the Sunday column is a thing anymore because newspapers are dead. But
now the post-game podcast.
Yeah, the post-game, exactly right. Yeah, now it's all podcasts.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I
still get the paper. Sorry, I still get the Sunday paper.
Well, we don't have one, so
we don't
really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll send you mine.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I walked in the door in 1995. It was Sam Weich's last year. I got to see an epic farewell press conference from him that was completely off the rails. That got it. If there had been social media back then for that post-game press conference after the Bucs lost to the Lions at the season finale in 1995, they got creamed by the Lions. That would have been one of the most all-time epic meltdown press conferences, and there's like no video record of it. But man, if people had these cell phone cameras back in the day, I mean, it would have eclipsed, playoffs, or play to win the game. I mean,
there's no video record of this, or do you check with the local stations?
Check with your friends at Channel 8.
Yeah, I'll ask Dave Cook. I guarantee he has it somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's epic. It's it's so bad. I can't even get into it because I would do it no justice without the video.
Right. So we'll stick to the cause at hand.
Yeah.
Which is Todd Bowles.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's going to play out. This team has to essentially probably win 10 games, right, to beat enough teams in the wild card race. They do have a tiebreaker, head-to-head tiebreaker against the runner-up in the NFC East. That helps, right?
Yeah.
It's either the Commanders or it's the Eagles. So that helps. Losing to the 49ers is going to be problematic because I assume 49ers are going to be one of those teams. If they don't win the NFC West, they will win a wild card spot, and they'll have the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Buccaneers.
Agreed.
It seems to me that when you look at the schedule on paper, the only game that should give this team problems is the Chargers. But we know We know Todd Bowles' defense. We know this team is not going to win every other game. There is going to be a game where they stub their toe.
Exactly.
It has happened
With the
every year.
31st ranked defense, you can't pencil in a 6 or 7 run. You
Correct.
just can't.
You can't do it. And especially with the injuries that keep biting this team, this is not like last year. And again,
you don't have Chris Godwin.
Well, yeah, and you don't have Tristan Wirfs right now
Right.
for the next couple of games as well. I think Justin School's actually played pretty well, but he's no Tristan Wirfs, so you lose some value there at the left tackle spot.
A lot.
But I'll say this: last year, people always want to point to, well, they won 5 out of their last 6 games. Okay, that's great. They were 5-3 over the last 8 games. Okay, that's the important thing. They were 5-3. The 5 out of 6 is great, but if the Bucs win 5 out of their last 6 right now, okay, that gets them to 9 wins, and that's not going to be enough this year, right? 4 plus 5 is 9. That's not going to be enough. So they've already lost one of those last 8 games. The 49ers game was one of those last 8 games if you want to compare it to last year. So now essentially they have to go at the very best 6-2 down the stretch to get to 10 wins. And is that possible? It's possible, but ask the Atlanta Falcons about just show up and win, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were 6-3. They went down to New Orleans. Granted, it's a division rivalry game. Anything goes, right? Those two teams hate each other. They lost to a 2-7 football team. So nothing is a given. You can sit there and look at this schedule on paper and say, yeah, the Bucs will be favored in all but maybe the Chargers game. Okay, that's fine, but that doesn't mean they're going to win those games.
No.
Game management, coaching, play of the defense, all those things are important. I checked.
You don't win close games. You're 1-4 in one-score games this year. You're 4-9 under Todd Bowles the last 2 years. Yeah. His overall record in one-score games is awful. Yeah. So what makes you – so you have to buck these statistical trends on all of these things just to make the playoffs. And let's just say that what's likely to happen will happen, Occam's razor, and you're sitting here out of the playoffs, and Todd Bowles is still your head coach, and Liam Cohen – Liam Cohen. Well, I mean, before you make the move, Liam Cohen is now on the open market.
He won't be. He's not going to get there. He just won't. I mean, I've seen this movie before. I know how it ends, right? His team fired John Gruden because they were afraid Raheem Morris was going to be the next Mike Tomlin, and the Glazers didn't want him to go. And because he got an interview with Denver. Denver was hot to trot on him. All of a sudden, 17 days after the season, they can Bruce Allen and John Gruden. Because of Raheem Morris.
That was really more about what went on in that meeting with John.
Oh yeah,
Gruden.
There's no doubt. I mean, they asked John Gruden, what's your plan to get this team back in the playoffs? And he said, spend a bunch of money and get a lot of money, a lot of expensive agents.
And the Glazers were like, sorry, we're buying Manchester United and leveraging the Bucs to the hill. We don't have any cash. That's not happening.
Not part of the plan. Yeah,
it's not part of the plan.
Yeah, and when John says free agents, the Glazers automatically think expensive agents. There's nothing free about them. They cost a lot of money, right? So yeah, they're like, no, we're gonna go with Raheem Morris. Then we've also seen this movie too, right? Where you've got the aging defensive-minded head coach that his defense is getting figured out, and they want some continuity because they have a quarterback that they like, right? They just spent a first overall pick in Jameis Winston in 2015, and he has some initial success with Dirk Cutter. And so you want that continuity there. Dirk Cutter
makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense to promote Liam Cohen, So to me, that seems like the most logical move. I think Bill Belichick would be a wild card in this equation. I think Bill Belichick's probably going to Dallas. Jerry will probably overpay for him because Jerry just wants, he's desperate for winning, right? You know that better than anybody, Tim.
Tim, quick 10 seconds on that likely happening. I don't want to interrupt, Scott.
There are 3 top names right now in the market to replace Mike McCarthy in Dallas. Bill Belichick is one. Deion Sanders is the other.
Ooh.
Wild card pick, former Dallas Cowboys tight end, future or Hall of Famer Jason Witten.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I can see that. So I think the situation with Belichick would be this. Belichick would have to come and, agree to work with Jason Light, who's got a track record of building a Super Bowl team. And not every single pick has panned out. We know that, right? Joe Tryon-Shoyinka has been not a bust, but just not a good value pick. Logan Hall, same thing. But there's enough players. I think even from this draft class, Tyke Smith looks like a stud. Bucky Irving looks like a stud. Graham Barton, I think, will become a Pro Bowl caliber lineman.
Agreed.
Jury's still out on Chris Braswell, right? But there is, if Jason can continue to shop for the groceries, right, and say, I'll shop for the groceries, Bill, you cook.
Which is something Bill would not allow last year when he did his interviews. He said,
Correct.
I still want, right.
Correct. But that might have to be the stipulation for him to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
And so why not work with somebody you've already worked with before in Jason Light, right? Then the scenario would have to be, well, because we know that Bill doesn't know offense. Look at the last couple of years without Tom Brady in New England when there wasn't an offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would have to be a situation where with Liam Cohen, he would have to say, I like Baker Mayfield a lot. We're working on this system. Chris coming back. We have Mike, etc. I like this offensive line. I like the coaching staff we have here. I'm going to pull a Ben Johnson and say, not right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 39 years old. I don't want to be a head coach right now. I want to continue to build my experience as a play caller. And so if that happens and you have Liam Cohen sticking around under that premise and Jason Light, says you have control over the 53, but I have control over the 90, right? I get to sign the free agents and I'll consult with you. I get draft the players. I'll consult with you. I'm going to build the training camp roster. And then you whittle it down because that's how it is with most teams. The GM gets full say-so in the 90, and then the head coach gets the say-so in the 53 with collaboration on both, right?
Right.
So under that scenario, I could see that. I think it's far-fetched. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think that's a candidate there. Liam Cohen, obviously, it would be the most likely candidate just because of the close proximity to the situation. Todd Monken, I think, is another guy that people within this organization really like. What he's done in Baltimore these last 2 years has just been like, you would say off the charts, but like, look what he did with Stetson Bennett. Okay.
Turned him into an NFL draft pick.
Right. Yeah. Right. Like Stetson Bennett. And they had Brock Bowers, right? I mean, Georgia's offense did not have a lot of like NFL caliber weapons outside of the tight end, Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
The running backs were okay, and they were good college backs, but look what he was able to do with that offense on a weekly basis against the likes of Alabama, LSU, Tennessee.
Look at it now.
Yeah, yeah. So to me, those are the three guys. Liam, probably most likely. Todd Monken, probably second most likely because you want an offensive guy. By the way, he's worked with Baker Mayfield before in Cleveland. Didn't really work out that great, but there is some familiarity there. And Todd has certainly elevated his stock as a play caller since being the offensive coordinator in Cleveland. I want to say it was the 2019 season for Baker, which was the second year, which was kind of like a regression year. I think he threw 21 picks or 21 touchdowns, 20 picks, something like that. And then Bill Belichick would be the dark horse number 3.
Yeah. So as I said on this show yesterday,
I heard you
quoting the old General Patton line, if it must be done eventually, it must be done immediately. And I think there's an opportunity here to just go ahead and make that move to Liam Cohen. Do I think he's ready? As our good friend Nathan Elliott says, he doesn't believe he's ready.
Yeah.
I have said many times on the show, I'm not sure if he's ready.
Yeah.
I did some digging on that, to be quite honest. Talked to some people, and I think I may have changed my mind on that. He's a take charge kind of guy.
He is.
He commands the room.
Yeah.
He's a young guy with a great offensive mind.
Yeah.
And as I said yesterday, what's everybody looking for in this league? They're looking for a great young offensive mind that has connections to Sean McVay.
Yeah.
Was there anybody around like that?
So
he's already in your building. He's already in your building, and he's going to be a hot commodity. If he finishes this season as a top 5 offense, half of it without Chris and Mike. Yeah. I mean, he's going to be on everybody's list.
Yeah.
And as you said earlier, you can't protect him when the season's over. He cannot. He can make.
You can do the old Black Monday switcheroo. Like you can do that, right? Like,
but why? The question is, and
I'll tell you why. Here's why you don't do it now. You don't do it now because he has a lot on his plate. He is trying to put together an offense with paper clips and rubber cement and rubber bands and scotch tape right now. Okay. He didn't have his left tackle. He might be getting his wide receiver back after the bye. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe it's another week after that. Doesn't have Chris Godwin, right? There's no other wide receivers on this team right now that are really worth the damn. He's got Kate Otten and 3 running backs, one of which he doesn't use.
Yeah.
Okay, because there's 1 ball, 3 guys. It's hard to like get all 3 going, right? So he's got a lot on his plate. He is halfway through his first year as an NFL play caller. We like what we've seen so far. 30 points per game when he had the full arsenal, even 24 in 2 games and then 20 last week, right? Pretty good stuff. Now, if you throw being a head coach at midseason on his plate and you're telling him now you are responsible for overseeing the fixing of the defense. And if you fire Todd Bowles, now you're forcing him to say, well, which guy do I want calling the defense, Larry Foote or Casey Rogers? And I would probably go Foote, but I don't know that is going to solve the problem, which is the defense. Then what you're doing is, let's say he's the head coach. Now all of the wins are in his name. All of the losses are in his name. We both believe that they're probably going to lose the Chargers and they're probably going to stub their toe at least once or twice. Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, if they lose in week 13 to the Panthers, I don't know that I'd be terribly surprised, to be honest. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm not ruling it out.
Yep.
So why would you want to give Liam wins and losses when it's not his staff and he hasn't even had a chance to take the 30,000-foot view of the defense, which is the problem, right? And the thing is like usually when there's a head coaching change, it's like you're trying to fix something, right? And I don't know that elevating him fixes the defense. I don't know that Larry Foote would be any better with this personnel the way it is right now, being a Todd Bowles disciple, that what Bowles would be. Maybe. But what happens if this defense just continues to suck? What happens if they're the reason why they're losing games 31-30 and 30-28, right? Because they can't stop anybody. Then all of a sudden that's on Liam. And what you're doing is you're extinguishing any honeymoon period he might have, right? He's going to have a honeymoon period from January till September of fresh start, new guy, excitement. We like what he did with the offense, right? I would say he would be in better position to succeed without any potential souring of the fan base. Seriously, and I'm just saying, what happens if the wheels fall off the wagon? What happens if Mike Evans comes back in the Giants game and blows out that hammy, and now all of a sudden the offense can't score more than 24 points. It just doesn't have any weapons, right? Mm-hmm. And the defense can't stop anybody. I mean, if that scenario happens, we're not looking at a 6-2 run down the stretch here. We're looking at maybe
complete implosion,
4-4, right? Yeah, complete implosion. And then why would you want to saddle or take the chance of saddling your offensive-minded head coach with that? I would much rather say you're going to be the next guy. You have the entire offseason. We'll help you build a staff, get a guy that can actually coach pass rush, maybe, especially at the outside linebacker position. Find a better cornerbacks coach.
Yeah.
I like Rashad Johnson. I think maybe he's worth keeping. The nickelbacks coach. He might be the only one that I would keep. But it's kind of like why Todd Bowles didn't fire Byron Leftwich during the season. Who's he going to replace him with? Clyde Christensen? He's a Byron disciple. He's part of the problem, right? Thad Lewis, who was not ready for the job. I mean, he didn't even get the offensive coordinator job. They picked Dave Canales over him, right? So I don't think that the timing is right now. The conditions would be a little unfavorable to Liam Cohen. I think if you're going to make him the next coach, he deserves to have the entire offseason to exhale and really get the defense fixed with new players and coaches.
So aside from the defense, here's why I hate this idea. And I'm not a fan of this current trend in the NFL where they want to promote successful offensive coordinators too fast. You just don't know. Look, Bobby Slowick, I know in Houston was a phenom last year. Everybody was talking about him being the next big thing. Well, he had a couple of interviews, thought better of it. All right. I know Dave Canales got offered the Carolina job. He earned the interview, and you're not going to turn down an offer, right? You're just not, because that's your dream job. I don't care where you go. maybe, unless it's Carolina. I don't care where you go. That's your job. You're going to take it. And I understand why they do it. But it's no different than trying to start young quarterbacks too fast. If you, like, for instance, the Bucs, if Bowles is gone and Liam Cohen takes over as head coach.
Yeah.
Well, now you have Liam Cohen, who has zero experience as a head coach.
Yeah.
And very little experience as an offensive coordinator.
Right.
And now you're asking him to do both of those jobs at the same time and be successful at both of them when he really hasn't ever done either one.
Yeah.
So it's not the same as bringing in a head coach to be a walk-around guy, have an offensive coordinator, have a defensive coordinator, where all you have to do is supervise. But when you promote these young coordinators, defensive or offensive, now you're asking them to do two jobs they're basically unfamiliar with instead of just one, rather than letting them cut their teeth and get their schemes down and let an offense become theirs instead of the last guy they worked for, and give them time to see what they can do. But that, I get it. That's the trend. That's what owners are looking for.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're missing out on a ton of really, really good coordinators and coaches because we're pushing everybody through too fast.
But that's the nature of the beast, right? It rarely happens. Patrick Mahomes, people forget, he sat on the bench for a year behind Alex Smith, and that helped him. He also went to a winning team. That also helped as well, right?
The great coach.
But, with a great coach. But
who does both, by the way.
But there's CJ Stroud. There's Jaden Daniels, right? There are people that can do it out of the gate. Sean McVay,
CJ Stroud,
CJ Stroud. So and that's the hope. The hope is that you get that guy that is that CJ Stroud out of the box. That is that, Joe Burrow had a good rookie season, right? So you get that guy that is just, instant success. And the fear is just like we see with the Giants, right? Re-signing Daniel Jones. The fear is, oh my gosh, what if he goes somewhere else and is great? And that was the concern.
Sure.
With Raheem Morris. I mean, that was a kind of a panic hire by the Glazers. And they hired the guy who was 33 years old, something like that.
It was a lot about
be the head coach.
It was a lot about money.
Yeah. And so to me, if you think you have that guy, and what I like about Liam Cohen is really four things. I like the fact that he's got a very good football IQ. He's a smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, he's very adaptable. I mean, look no further than we're taking away your two best weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Go score points, right? Highly adaptable. And number three, he's even admitted in his press conference, like he's been on the phone with Zach Taylor. He's been on the phone with Sean McVay, seeking help from some of his mentors and colleagues. I don't hear Todd Bowles. Who's Todd Bowles calling? Todd Bowles is calling nobody. Todd Bowles is looking in the mirror and saying, Todd, we got this, right? Yes, we do, Todd. We can figure this out. Yes, Todd, we're the smartest guy in the building. That's right, Todd, we are. Okay. And number four, I think he's got an edge about him. I've gotten to know him a little bit. And
he does have an edge.
He's got an edge, right? And one of the things that I go back and I watch press conferences and I look for things. I connect dots. I try to see what is being said, what's not being said, how it's being said, right? Like voice inflection, those types of things. And it's like when he talked about Baker Mayfield, when he first got hired, he talked about the juice that Baker brought. He called him an igniter. Like, I like that because football is a game where it's just as much mentality as it is ability. And folks, this Bucs defense is soft because they play soft. They're in a soft coverage scheme. It's soft. That's the mentality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, that's what it is.
We blitz a lot. We're aggressive.
Yeah. If you look at some of the coaches,
not really.
They're very cerebral, high IQ guys, but they don't have the mentality. And I'm sorry, like if I'm starting a team and I'm looking for a defensive line coach, I want a nut job. I want somebody that
you want to Rod Marinelli.
I want a guy, and I'm saying this with all due respect. I'm not calling anybody crazy or whatever, but I want somebody who acts a little psycho,
a little off.
Joe Cullen in Kansas City, right? Look at the defensive line. George,
the best O-line and D-line coaches I've ever seen are a little off. Look at Monty Kiffin.
Exactly.
Look at Monty Kiffin.
Yep,
I mean, that dude
exactly. Rod Marinelli,
but a savant. A savant.
Yes, totally. Yeah. And so I've seen enough milquetoast defensive line coaches in Tampa. No, thank you. Jay Hayes was one of them. I called for Jay Hayes to be fired. The only position coach I've ever called to be fired was him because he I can let me give you.
Well, let me
Yeah.
just let me push back just a little bit. I
Yeah.
think all the points you made are absolutely on point, no question about it. I'll just push back a little bit and say what you're saying to me seems to be you're punting on the season, because I don't think that Todd Bowles can recover this. There's
I
just
agree.
too much bad momentum
Yes.
going their way.
Yep.
And
You
I don't
punt
want
on
to
the
punt.
season.
I don't want to punt on this season. I
know.
think there's still something to be had. And I think your point on doing both jobs, both of you, is I get it. But I also say this: the defense can't get any worse. So I'll say Larry Foote, maybe just you calling different plays and having a different perspective gives it a little bit of juice. So I'm going to give you that. And Liam, this is what I need you to do. I need you to manage the games and keep doing what you're doing on offense. I think this guy's smart enough to handle it. I think a jolt from hearing a different voice with a lot more enthusiasm and a lot more energy gives this team a little bit of life.
It could.
From a business perspective, and they're selling all their suites and everything and doing their renewals right now. I think it's a must, because this Todd Bowles malaise that has fallen over your franchise is real.
Yeah.
You can see it in all the fans are outraged.
Oh,
they
there's
are
no doubt.
outraged.
Yep.
And I don't think you can sit here and watch these game management decisions and it's the same narrative after every game and continue it. And I also think,
but here's the thing. What happens if this team just flatlines and goes 4-4? They only win 3 games, whatever. Now all of a sudden,
you mean with Liam as the head coach?
Absolutely, that's the danger.
I think you give him a
because
pass. I think you give him a pass. I think the fans would. I think obviously the Glazers would, and just say, go do your best. We don't expect you to make the playoffs. Here's your contract. You're good for the next year. Do your best. Everything you do positively is a bonus. And at the end of the season, you get to completely clean the sheet, hire whoever you want, and go remake this. But for this, we can't watch it anymore. As in respect to our fans who are buying these tickets now.
I hear you.
And let's do it now.
There's something to be said for that. It would have happened this week during the bye week, and it hasn't happened, so it's not going to happen.
Time is it?
But so to me, I think that also too that there's the draft pick situation, right?
Yeah.
It's like when a season is spiraling, and it hasn't really
already
spiraled
playing
yet.
For the draft pick, the edge rusher. How many are in this draft? Are we going there?
I actually was studying some this morning. There's some guys.
Oh no, Kurt, Scott's already gone to the draft part of it.
We've got a mock draft round.
Season's over.
.com right now.
No, you don't.
Yeah, well, of course we do. Yeah. we're not giving up in the season, but
yes, you are.
We're not. But we're also reading the room. This team has lost 4 games in a row, 5 of their last 6. They're 4-6. I just know this team too well. There's going to be a pull out your hair, kicking, screaming tantrum game coming from Buccaneer fans that are like, how did we lose to the Giants? How did we lose to the Panthers? How did we lose to Cooper Rush and the Cowboys? Whatever game it's going to be. Or it might even come down to the Saints. How did we lose to an interim head coach with a team that has nothing to play for in Week 18 in our building? It's coming. I've seen this movie before. I know how it ends, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm completely.
You make
wrong.
Liam the head coach. That doesn't happen. I'm telling you.
I don't know.
Yeah, listen. I think they're in a crappy position either way right now, and
they are.
And they need to. I think they need to reset. They're going to reset at the end of the year. I think. Short of Todd Bowles taking his team to the NFC Championship game, I don't think he sticks around. You know it, and I know it. The Glazers are pissed right now. That's why I thought something was going to happen this week, and I think it still could. Next couple days, let's see what happens. But I think we're in agreement that the way forward here is Liam Cohen as the head coach, and whatever way they have to make that happen,
most logical pick.
They need to make that happen, right? Yeah. And James wants to know, is it James or Nathan who wants to know, do you think it was Bowles who called for the third best running back to run up the middle twice, 1st and goal from the 8, and you need a touchdown, or was that Liam Cohen?
I think it was Liam. I don't think Liam had a great game. I don't think Baker Mayfield had a great game.
No,
Todd Bowles certainly didn't have a good game.
Yards.
Yeah. And Skip Pete is the one who's kind of in charge of the running back rotation. He works with Liam on that. I think Liam, if he said, I want Bucky in there, it probably would have happened. But Skip Pete is the guy that rotates the running backs. He's the running backs coach. I don't know that he'll be back next year. We'll see. But this team,
Liam already has his offensive line coach that he would pick normally, and Carberry and did. So they've got that continuity going already.
Yeah, one of these things doesn't look like the other, right? You've got this young offensive coaching staff, and you've got 61-year-old Skip Pete, and you got almost 61-year-old Todd Bowles. You got like 62-year-old Kevin Ross. You have 68-year-old Nick Rapone, safeties coach. I think George Edwards is in his mid-50s, late 50s. You're going to see a youth movement in the coaching staff too. You need guys that can bring fresh ideas, new perspectives to the table. I feel like, from what I've heard, the offensive staff is collaborative. Actually, I know that because we've even heard the offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen, say that in his last presser. I asked specifically about Brian McClendon. He answered my question, but then he says it's really been the entire staff coming together, figuring this out without Mike and Chris, how we're going to run the ball, how we're going to protect, how we're going to incorporate the receivers. Like it's been a collaborative effort. And I think Liam takes input from those coaches. I look at Todd Bowles and I see a bunch of yes men, a bunch of cronies. I mean, he played with Kevin Ross at Temple. They were teammates in college. Nick Rapone was his position coach in college.
He's a very loyal man.
Very loyal guy.
Which is a great character
Casey
trait,
Rogers is Todd Bowles' best friend.
Right. And
there's something to be said for that, right? But at the same time, are you getting the necessary pushback? Are you getting the necessary coach? Like, let's try this. Coach, let's introduce this new idea. Coach, this ain't working. Is there enough of that going on? Or is this just, Todd Bowles is Zeus and he's sitting at the throne of the gods and, what he says goes? I probably think that's what happens. He's been asked, are you going to give up play calling duties? No, he's not, because he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room and he doesn't trust Larry Foote or Casey Rogers in that role. And I'm okay with that. He's the head coach and he probably is the best, to be honest. But what he's doing isn't working. And that's not getting conveyed to him because there's no changes.
Well, here we sit, Scotty. And listen,
it's just a couple more months, JP. Come on, be patient.
I'm not patient.
Listen, hey, when you and I, I'm going to call you out right now. When you and I were in our youth, we had to wait 45 minutes for a TV dinner. Our mamas took off the foil and put the Swansons in the oven. So we could
remember how hard the
little cherry cobbler in the meatloaf for the Salisbury steak.
That Salisbury steak, bro, was top notch.
It was.
Those chicken pot pies. Oh
yeah.
But
that's my point. Just be patient. Just harken back to the old days. We had to wait 45 minutes for a good.
And I usually ate it half cold. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's like 3 minutes, stick it in the microwave, nuke it, and boom.
What do you mean 4:25? What if I go to 5:25? It's going to get done earlier. What are you kidding?
Yeah.
Just boil that sucker.
Right.
But
then the problem is that turns the fudge brownie into a charcoal briquette, and you can't eat the brownie. So
Nathan Elliott just wants to know, why is nobody calling for Jason Light's job? He picks the players and writes contracts. He gave Todd the players who are losing on the field. My feeling is, I think
most of Jason Light's players are hurt.
Yeah,
that's why.
And two of them because of the head coach.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too is Antoine Winfield Jr. Did he not deserve to come back? I mean, everybody was in unison.
Jason's done a great job.
We sung the praises of George Whitehead coming back.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sorry, Whitehead and Winfield are doing terrible this year. Like, is that Jason's fault? I mean, they did good last year. They got rewarded, right? They brought Whitehead back.
When you have that many players that were great the prior year that come back and they all suck, what do you blame that on?
I think
coaching
hurt. I think
coaching.
Yeah, it's coaching and just the injury bug. I mean, the injury bug for whatever reason. Like, think about this. I'll leave you guys with this. Last year on offense, only one starter missed any playing time. That was Matt Filer. He wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And when he injured his knee,
he needed to be
Stinney came in.
Yeah.
He needed to be replaced. But Stinney came in and then went wire to wire from when he started to the end of the year. Every other offensive starter, all four offensive linemen outside of the left guard, Cade Otton, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Baker Mayfield, Rashad White.
It's unusual.
Every single one of those other starters, 10 out of 11, played 19 games for this team last year. All 19.
Yeah.
All 19. And this year, Tristan's out for 4 games. Chris is out for the season. Mike's going to end up missing, 4 games, 3 games, Um, Rashad missed a game. And then you look at the defense, right? Tyke's been out a couple games. Well, and also, too, Jalen McMillan's missed 3 games.
Dreaded Friday practices. My God.
It's crazy. It's crazy what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Scotty, great stuff. I know we disagree on the method, but we definitely agree on
the end result.
eventuality, on the end result.
Agreed.
Absolutely. So tell everybody how they can get your great content and the freaking mock draft that's up. My God.
It's not our mock draft. It's a mock draft roundup. We're not doing our mock drafts till January.
And by the way, everybody's pick has the Bucks picking around 14 to 15 on your mock draft, do you? I think, right?
Just about, yeah.
So
just about. Yeah,
it's not boding well for how the
you got to
Bucks
get to at
win this
least
season.
8 wins because that's my Vegas preseason.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I bet on Baker over 22 and a half tutties. I already got that one in the bank. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So,
cash it.
Yeah.
You can cash all of the fun and hilarity and entertainment and educational value on our Pewter Report podcast. We have one today at 4:00 on Pewter Report TV. It's our YouTube channel. Check that out. Another one tomorrow. And then no podcast this weekend because it's a bye week. But we do have plenty of content looking at this season, looking ahead to next season. So whether you're one of those Bucks fans who've already given up on this season, fine, we got you covered. If you're still a true believer and, man, this team can still make the playoffs, we got you covered too. We're covering both bases on pewterreport.com. Make sure you follow us on social media, X, Facebook, and Instagram at Pewter Report.
All right, Scotty. Thanks, buddy. Love you, man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
See you guys.
All right. Yeah, it's a great debate, and you guys make great points about that, but I have no freaking patience for any of this anymore. And I want new, I want shiny, and let's effing go. Oh my God. And I think it would be fun. And
if something doesn't happen during this bye week, that almost tells you it's not going to happen in mid-season, right? If they ride through the bye week with him, he's here until off.
Barring any, like if there were a situation like, let's just say, go crazy. They go and play the Giants, and they something as obvious as the 2-point conversion again comes up, right? And you don't go for it. You do keep doing the same stuff, and then the Giants get the ball back, and Danny Dimes takes it down the field like he's Dan Marino. I mean,
sometimes he is. Still a Daniel Jones fan, future Hall of Famer.
Oh my God! Sometime when, then I think you just at some point it just, and again, if it has to happen eventually, just do it. Rip the Band-Aid off, man. And I know it's tough for Liam, but listen, anything that happens to this team, if you elevated Liam, anything that happens negatively, you just blame on Bowles. It's pretty simple. You just blame it on him. But if it's positive, then Liam gets all the credit.
What if the Bucks just get rolled by the Giants? No injuries, no coaching problems, decisions. You just get rolled by the Giants 31-6.
If Bowles is still the coach?
Right now, yeah.
And then that's why I'm saying you got to make the move, because if this happens, they lose to the Giants, and I think they might. They could. Then you just be like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
That's why I'm saying, and
by the way, and again, if this is real, we don't talk about, he might not be able to handle the job. It might be too much for him. He might not be ready. All these mights. I want to see the reality. I want to see what happens, because you're going to fire Todd Bowles. You've already come. If you're the Glazers, let's just be honest. You've already come to that conclusion.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying do it now. Why wait?
Well, no, you weren't. You were saying wait till the end of the season.
No. I'm saying if they don't fire him during this bye week, then you might as well ride it out, because now is the perfect time to do it during the bye week. If you're good, you're going to do it.
Of course.
Do it now. Don't wait until they lose to the Giants.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
And these things that you guys bring up, I think they're valid points, but I think my points are more valid. It is my show after all. I just think that I can't wait. I'm tired of watching it. And anything that negative happens if they lose the rest of them. I'm not going, Liam Cohen doesn't know what he's doing. We're all going, Todd Bowles got the damn receivers killed, so we don't have those two guys. Twerce is out. That's not Todd's fault, obviously. So it's just he had a bad, but I can't wait till he gets to start fresh and do it all over again. You got him under contract. He's not going anywhere. If you let this linger, so there could be somebody getting in Todd's or Liam Cohen's ear, went through his agent, saying, You want to be the coach of the Cowboys? I'm just, there. Somebody could present a scenario that is more money, is better, a better situation. We have no idea. You get this done now. He doesn't have anybody whispering in his ear right now, I don't think. You go ahead and lock him up right now. You don't have to worry about any of that. You don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah.
So you could be standing here at the end of the year and somebody could poach him and you're sitting there with no bowls and, Bill Belichick staring at you. Hey, we're on to Tampa Bay.
Yep.
And then which is not a horrible choice, but, I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it. So anyway, I think just do it and think about how it would energize the fan base. Think how it would energize your team.
Need that right now.
And I think there's still a pathway here to get to the playoffs. I really do. If you can get this, get some energy going again. And I think I have a lot of faith in this guy, and I want to see what he can do, just in game management alone. I don't think you can sell a damn ticket right now. If you're trying to sell a season ticket after this mess that you've seen this year, especially at home. I mean, the Denver debacle. This what you saw last week. It's been hot as hell in the stadium all year long.
Yeah.
It's a tough sell, bro.
All those 1:00 kickoffs because your team sucks.
Right. It's too much. All right, we got to take a break. Dadgummit. And thank all of our sponsors for being so patient. Jeeves Law Group. We love you folks. Any issues you have with your insurance company, any legal issues you have whatsoever, the Jeeves Law Group can help you out with a free case evaluation. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. I could rip off the 10,000 things that Scott Jeeves has done and the awards that he's gotten and try to impress you. I can just tell you this. He's a hell of a guy. He's a bulldog, and he will fight for you. And that's what you need in any of these legal situations. That's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Get concierge medicine. Italiano Insurance. Let them shop it around, folks, and save you thousands of dollars. The Golden Diamond Source. We got holidays coming up. Where else are you going to shop? Those people are amazing. The Geddes Gordon Group. Want to get back into real estate? Jane Geddes has got it for you. Extravaganza Productions. Third Generation Plumbing. Cafe Paradiso. We love you all. Back to 3. We've had a lot of fun with the monthly birthstones, and October is no different, where the birthstones are opal and tourmaline. All the colors of the evening sky are captured in the mysterious shifting hues of opal, and tourmaline has a color palette for every mood. Did you know that opals have been cherished for centuries, associated with royalty and good fortune? Tourmaline was once thought to protect against evil and enhance spiritual connection, adding to its allure. And during the 40th anniversary, you can find a special selection of this precious gemstone, from stunning rings and necklaces to elegant earrings and bracelets. Of course, Steve Weintraub handpicks every piece for its brilliance and quality. The expert staff will help you find the perfect gift, whether it's for a loved one, a special occasion, or a treat for yourself. Visit the Golden Diamond Source today, where you'll always find the perfect gift. It's more than jewelry, it's love. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the J.P. Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance, make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez in Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa-based top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here, brought to you by the great folks at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. If you are looking for someone to direct your health care, which obviously you're not getting from these insurance companies who really don't give a crap about you, they're just trying to make money, someone that will spend an hour and a half with you going over your blood work, your sleeping habits, your workout habits, your nutrition, has a nutrition degree, that's Chris Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That's where you go to get that much needed. Now, you can use your insurance to get all your tests done, to go see specialists, go direct all that. But more than anything, he will get you on the path to being healthy and staying healthy. Don't get sick, all those things. Bay Area Modern Medical Center, highly, highly recommended. Love those folks. All right, let's get to our comment section, shall we, Tim?
Been a while.
Yes, we have, and we got lots of comments coming in. So let's get to it, and we will hearken back to. I just want to see these things again. Look at the beauty of this. It's high-tech stuff.
Pretty high tech. You and your whiteboards.
$6.5 million to save the Trop. Now it's going to go to about 10. $35 million to repair the Trop to the city cost. The actual cost is going to be much higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
That's if insurance pays. I mean, $1.7 billion for 16. Oh, come on. All right. Lonnie Wilkins says, "Good morning, gents. I say pay the money to fix the Trop because they'll just piss the money away on other things you'll never see anyways." Got to see what Sarah does out in the Gulf.
Got a point.
You know, I always do say that. I was like, you know, if we don't spend the money on the stadium, what are we going to spend it on? You know, stupid stuff. But I think right now, even St. Pete, you know, they have really, really pressing issues with infrastructure that were exposed in the hurricane or broken in the hurricane. And to hear the mayor say it's the only fiscal responsible to spend $2.4 billion of taxpayer money. That's the cost. If you go through with this, that's the actual cost. Is insane. When do we get the FanStream party deck at the Trop? In 2026, baby.
Working on it.
I would angle towards something in the Emily Arena or Buckston.
I like the name though.
Unless there's new ownership.
Or is it going to be the FanStream casting couch?
It's not that. Trust me.
That's all we have here in Dallas.
That's who's watching. Lonnie Wilkins says, "My heart says pay for the Trop," and I wouldn't want it anyway. Pay for the Trop repair, but my brain says hell no. Go with your brain, Lonnie. When you're spending money, you go with your brain, not your heart, right?
Yeah.
Good morning, Christopher Cole. Rick says politicians saying we need to honor agreement. Translation: I already made my down payment on my beach house. I need that money. I mean, how can you? And by the way, the constitution of this new Pinellas County Commission, that's an almost absolute no vote. And that's going to happen tomorrow or the next day. That's it. The two new ones in there, the Rays campaigned against. $150,000 they spent against these guys and said some really nasty things.
Wow.
How are those guys going to vote? No.
Infighting.
It's tanking. Unless they make a large donation, I really don't see how it passes. I really don't. Not with the way it's stacked up now. No. Shocking a media outlet reporting propaganda in this day and age. Can we just go ahead and say this now? I mean, this narrative that we all knew, but is absolutely, honestly, the norm, and moving forward, we all know this legacy media stuff is dead. They've been lying to you for so much, for so long. Just look at what they've been saying and how they've been dividing us. This is not right or left. It's not Republican or Democrat. These media companies have been paid handsomely to promote propaganda that you clearly see is wrong and untrue.
Yeah.
Just saying, be smarter, people. Why would this delay the new stadium? If anything, it should be expedited or completely scrap the whole plan. Why would it delay the new stadium? Because you got to worry about repairing this crappy one. You got to spend all your resources and money now to start rebuilding a stadium you're going to blow up in 2 years, 3 years most. Like, what are we doing? It's so fiscally irresponsible. Golly, it's like, but listen, the mayor feels like he can say anything and spin it because nobody in the media is going to challenge him. And the mainstream media is going to challenge him. They're just going to support him. Oh, yeah, it's fiscally responsible to do this. Fiscally responsible, my ass. $2.45 billion.
Well, maybe that's nothing to him.
It's nothing to him. It ain't his money.
Exactly.
Community spirit, Rick says, go ask Pinellas residents how that community spirit is without floors, walls, and cars while waiting for insurance payments. Get the F out of here. Seriously. And you're going to give this money to a billionaire who has crapped on your city for 15 years. Wow. Unbelievable. And don't get mad at me, Stu. The idea is insane. Sorry. Nathan Alley, just got to love JP supported baseball in the area. Sternberg and MLB is going to break his heart. No, they're not. I'm going to win. It's not about that. Come on, man. It's about what's best for the area. It's not about what I care about. I love St. Pete. Love it. I may be living there soon, by the way. And voting there, by the way, Mayor Welch. JP, don't forget a new skateboard. Isn't that part of the new?
Yeah, what are we going to do without that?
Is there no new skate park there, by the way? How come we not have a new skate park?
Does anybody skate anymore?
No.
I haven't been on a skateboard since high school.
But there's this huge skater population in St. Pete that loves baseball and goes to all the games.
Maybe they can learn to play tennis.
Oh, God. Michael LaRue, no one should put another dime into that crap hole, especially taxpayer money. Thank you. William Madden says, I think they only broke $20K a season twice. Yeah, it's a failed location. Like, above all, why are you building this? Like, if you were spending $2.45 billion and it would, shouldn't it be like that's a sure thing, man?
Yeah.
All the plans come together. There's a huge population center, blah, 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 blah. It's like everything is saying no. The only thing that the reason they're doing is for vanity. The vanity of Mayor Welch and St. Pete to say we're keeping the Rays because that's our identity. No, you were fine without them. You'd be much better without them, especially with the cost of money. And think of what that money could do and is needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every time you say no to something, to your constituents that they desperately need, they're going to say, but you gave them money to that guy? Save yourself, Ken. Save yourself, Ken. Come on. You got a mulligan here. Save yourself. Lonnie says that they need to get to Tampa. End of story. It's been right there in front of everybody, and nobody wants to listen to accept it. I'm telling you, everybody wants to listen. The impediment has been the owner, because he wants somebody to pay for everything. And Mayor Welch said, I'll do it. I'll do it. In fact, we'll give you a discount on the land so you can make the $700 million back that you're going to pay for the stadium. So essentially it's free. That's what he did. And Stu said, because he's always said he don't want to be in St. Pete, he said, oh, okay, then we love St. Pete. We love St. Pete. Well, welcome to St. Pete. This is where we always wanted to be. This is going to be great for generations to come. Who believes that BS, man?
Everyone, obviously.
No. There's a very small few. There's a very small few on the commission. I guarantee if you put every poll that's been done, it's 70% against. Every organic thing that you see, 70-80% against. This is a small group of people who hold the purse strings that are probably getting wonderfully compensated and will never get reelected. Trust me, if all this stuff goes through. Michael LaRue says, at best, the new St. Pete Stadium will average 20K. Yeah, did I already put that up? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The beaches are smoked, and there are so many businesses and residential areas. The beach is like 15 lower than normal on the sand. From Treasure Island to St. Pete, it's a ghost town. Everything is bad. Yes, that's true. I've heard stories yesterday from people that own properties in Treasure Island that they can't even get back in their homes because they're waiting on inspections and stuff.
Still, right? Yeah.
Still, you can't get permits to do construction. They're holding up all these permits to do construction because they have to get inspectors in there and all this red tape bull crap. And you're doing this crap? How about you use the money, go hire a bunch of more inspectors so people can get their freaking houses done? How about that idea?
Makes too much sense.
Nathan says JP's pathway to baseball is a tightrope, is beginning to tear and break under the weight of his hopes of keeping baseball in the area. Okay, thanks, Nathan. But spending $2.4 billion is the way to go. No. Michael LaRue, the only time in the last 50 years that MLB completely abandoned the top TV market is when Montreal went to Washington. Oakland doesn't count because of San Francisco. You're absolutely correct. They want baseball here. And I can honestly believe that MLB is about to take this thing over and make sure everything gets done right. What else we got here? Moving on to the Bucks. Nathan is right about this. They play down to the competition. They sure do. Do you really think 10 wins get you in the playoff berth? It might take 11 this year, James. I think you might be right. And the 10 wins, if it's the 49ers, you don't have that tiebreaker now. That's gone by the wayside. James says this team can't average 30 on offense anymore without Tristan. D will cost Bucks this year. It's an easy decision. I agree. Has Bruce Arians spoken anything about the Bulls situation? Yeah, he supported him. Him, and that's being loyal. That's being loyal. I understand it, but and Bulls and Bruce were a great team because Bruce was the no risk it, no biscuit. Todd was kind of the balance to that, and that's why they won a Super Bowl together. It was a good yin and yang, but Todd by himself without the risk it biscuit mentality is a lot of what you see. Liam Cohen, head and shoulders above Dirk Coder. Liam learned a lot from Sean McVay. Absolutely, he did, and he still leans on him. Winning streak 2 years in a row. How about not having long losing streaks? Good teams don't have long losing streaks. Thank you, Rick. I mean, we all believe that since Todd did it last year, he's going to be able to do it again. And as Scott said, you don't have Tristan Wirfs for a few games. You're not going to have. And by the way, you had Chris Godwin, who was making all the plays down the stretch in those wins, right?
Right.
Like. Tom Munkin also, James says, threw 50 times versus the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Sorry, I know he's a favorite of SR, but it's not happening. That was a bit of a head scratcher. I think he'd like a mulligan on that one. I see Jim Barron. Thank you for jumping in here. Says Belichick is not the answer. His time has come and gone. He doesn't relate to today's players. Wouldn't be a good fit for Mayfield. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Just because he's become really affable and wonderful in media, I just think his time has passed. I agree with you.
I mean, he's 70-something years old. I mean,
Yeah. We haven't talked about this. I want to get into it. The 3-loss SEC team makes the playoff. It's not a playoff. It's a TV invitational. You know, I think it's kind of comical, to be honest with you, Tim, that Boise State, as the 13th ranked in the college football playoff, since they're the top-ranked non-P5 or performer, group of 5, whatever, they get in instead of Georgia. Georgia. Let me ask you this, Timmy. If this was the final poll, do you think they'd leave Georgia out?
no way. Not even a 2-win Georgia, 2-loss Georgia team. No.
3-loss Georgia team. No way. Over Boise State? No way. Somehow Boise State would not be, up there. They would figure out a way to get Georgia in. They would figure out a way to somehow get Georgia in. So I don't know. I don't know what you're
It's
thinking.
like they did Alabama, right? Last year?
SEC rules. SEC and the Big Ten, they've now collaborated and said, okay, we're gonna be the two teams. You're gonna see 4 Big Ten teams. You're gonna see 4 SEC teams, and then the others that must be in there that they have to include just so they can be somewhat balanced and pretend like they care. No,
I mean, you got a Big 12 team in there right now at number 6.
Right, not for long. And those rankings. Anything else?
But that's it. I mean, the rest of them are Big 10 and SEC.
Yeah, Indiana's schedule, God bless them, we love them, but Indiana's schedule is so light. And by the way, folks, this is far from done. There's lots of big games. Once Indiana gets smoked by Ohio State, they're gone.
I'd like to see that upset, though, man. That would cause even more chaos, right?
That would be super.
God, I would love that.
Yeah, but do you think they can do it? When is that game? Is it this week? When is Indiana and Ohio State play? Is that this week?
Let me look it up.
Rick says keeping Todd just makes firing him easier. If he does win, great. Losses, he's gone. I mean, that's the thing. I think even more. I think it's another risk that you take. If for some reason Todd Bowles goes on another run and they squeak into the playoffs, there's no assurance that the Falcons aren't going to lose 5 games down the stretch, and you get in again with 9 wins or 10 wins, and then you're like, God, he's won the division 3 years in a row. We can't fire him now. We'll get clobbered. Like,
I don't know that they would get clobbered. I don't know. Ohio State has Northwestern this week, Indiana the following week, and then, of course, they finish the season with Michigan,
who's terrible. What else? Any other comments in here we want to get to? All right, good stuff. We appreciate all you guys jumping in. This one I want to get to. And Paul Stewart, I'll get to that one. Michael Sergel says, F it, I want Gruden back. DC Todd, OC Cohen, I might not take us to the playoffs, but it will be fun to watch. John Gruden coming back. Come on.
What would be the bigger S show? Gruden at head coach or Bowles back at defensive coordinator?
Please, no. Paul Stewart, our good friend across the pond, says, can't agree with all this anti-Bowles hysteria myself, but I see why people are doing it. The age of social media. How do you say it's social media?
It's not social media. It's the eyeball test, Paul. Sorry.
Yeah, man.
We're watching the games.
I love Todd. I was rooting for him this year to get it done. But, man, these game management decisions are just awful. You can't hide that stuff. You can't hide your record in these close games, man. It should be as close to 50-50 if you're just an average coach.
Yeah.
If it's, if you're batting 250, you had a 25% chance of winning 3 close games. You just can't continue with that.
Good coaches don't go 1-4 in 1-score games.
Mm-mm.
The only team that's worse than the Bucs right now in 1-score games this year, the Giants are 1-5.
Well, those crazy stats that we put up that the Ravens and the Bucks are within, 4 spots in the last 6 games of yardage totals. It's similar numbers. The Ravens are 5-1 and the Bucks are 1-5. I mean, it's so damning. The whole, scores average 30 points a game over a 6-game stretch. Been done 1,034 times. Only 2 teams have gotten 1 win out of that. The 2019 Bucks and the 2024 Bucks. Constant Todd Bowles defense. I mean, it's just crazy. Paul Stewart says, can you compare a WWE Rumble between Stu Sternberg, Todd Bowles, and Kamala Harris? Your favorite? Put them all in there. Yes. Christopher Cole says, I wish I had $65 million to piss away.
You'll get there, Christopher.
Yeah.
I have faith in you.
Here's a story we had to talk about. Wander told police he was trying to get a piece of the Trop roof. Unfortunately, he was in a minor league ballpark.
He said, this isn't the Trop? Wait, I thought I was at the Trop. It's been so long since I've been there. I forgot where it was.
Yeah. Thank you guys for all jumping in. Really appreciate you. Somebody wants to know what the spinning wheel is. Michael Sorgel.
You want to do that now?
Let's take a break. We'll tease it. It's
coming up, the Wheel of Misfortune.
The Wheel of Misfortune. I'm just going to go on record as saying I ain't doing any of that crap. The Wheel of Misfortune. We will do that. A big thanks to our good friends at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. That is the website, but they also do AC and home repairs. So if you're trying to find somebody to help you repair your home in the hurricane, Third Generation Plumbing can help you out. Go to their website, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. You call them or email them. Tell them JP sent you. John Rodriguez is the owner over there. Since 1995, they've been getting 5-star reviews before there even were Google 5-star reviews. So check out the reviews and get great service. We had him come over to fix something at the studio the other day. Showed up within 45 minutes and got the job done. Great folks over there. thirdgenerationplumbing.com is the website. Back in 3. We've had a lot of fun with the monthly birthstones, and October is no different, where the birthstones are opal and tourmaline. All the colors of the evening sky are captured in the mysterious shifting hues of opal, and tourmaline has a color palette for every mood. Did you know that opals have been cherished for centuries, associated with royalty and good fortune? Tourmaline was once thought to protect against evil and enhance spiritual connection, adding to its allure. And during the 40th anniversary, you can find a special selection of this precious gemstone, from stunning rings and necklaces to elegant earrings and bracelets. Of course, Steve Weintraub handpicks every piece for its brilliance and quality. The expert staff will help you find the perfect gift, whether it's for a loved one, a special occasion, or a treat for yourself. Visit the Gold and Diamond Source today, where you'll always find the perfect gift. It's more than jewelry, it's love.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is 2-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, That's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the JP Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Tarpon Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here, brought to you by the great folks at Cafe Paradiso, where Tim Ham had the greatest meal of his life, and I was there for it.
That was great. You were responsible for it.
I was responsible for it. Yes. We picked up the tab. It was a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Thank you to Paulo Tini. Wonderful person, wonderful restaurant. If you just want something good, traditional when you want good service, great food, made to order, all the best ingredients, none of this, chain restaurant stuff. There's some great chain restaurants. Don't get me wrong. But this is not that. This is locally owned and operated. He's been making Italian food. His dad had a great restaurant as well. It's all in the family. It's great stuff.
It is a dining experience.
It is. It is indeed.
It's not the same as going to dinner. You can go to dinner anywhere. You can't go anywhere and have a dining experience.
Yes. So check it out. Cafe Paradiso. We love it. Something happened here we have not talked about, and I feel ashamed to do it. And you'll love this. At the Pelican, which is right there in Bel Air, today starts the Pro-Am for the Annika, presented by Cambridge. Caitlin Clark is playing golf today.
Mm-hmm.
Your girl, Caitlin Clark, is teeing off with Annika Sorenstam,
future ex-girlfriend,
the greatest players in the history of the game. Nelly Korda, for my money, the greatest player in the LPGA, greatest female player on the planet right now. So you can go watch. You can go watch Caitlin Clark play with Nelly Korda and Annika Sorenstam out at the Pelican. It's going to be on the Golf Channel today. So it's absolutely beautiful out there. Hoping to get out there this weekend. So, yeah, all the LPGA, 18 of the top 25 Rolex top 25 list are playing in this major championship. It's not a major championship, but it feels like one out there this week at the Pelican. So go to the Annika.com to get your tickets and go check it out. John Hill is watching. She said that Clayton Clark pulled a JP and hit her first drive into the crowd.
That's how you know they're real human beings.
I have never understood that the at these pro-ams, when the AMs are up on the tee, these people are lining the fairways like it's, like
it's a pro.
Professional. It's not a pro, folks. Get the hell out of do not stand in front of her, especially like 10 to 15 yards in front, because when that ball comes off the toe, is shanked or hooked, like comes off of my club, that's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
Anytime I'm playing those, I preface it with, look, you guys are on your own. I have no clue where this is going. I'm aiming that way. It could go that way, and it could go that way. So
you're all in danger. You're all in danger.
Yeah, take the soccer stance, where you're covering up your nether regions. And
yes, absolutely. Yeah. And our great friend of the program, Brittany Lincecum, will be playing in her final LPGA event, a 20-year career out there. Started playing at the age of 19. Two-time major champion, I think 14-time winner on tour. She's had an amazing career. I saw her at the Lightning game the other night. We brought her in.
Posted pictures.
Yeah. And her wonderful husband, they came up and toured the backstage at Emily Arena and Lightning Vision. So it was great to see her. So we'll hopefully see her out there, and hopefully she makes the cut and we can see her on Sunday. That'd be a great way to finish and retire right there in her hometown community. A great event. The gallery will be huge for her, and just really hope she plays well this week. It's be fun. All right. College football playoff, my brother.
You want to go over the wheel first?
Oh, yes, the wheel. Please, the wheel.
All right, so I brought it over here. I'm going to move the camera just so everybody has a better look at what I'm doing here.
Mm-hmm.
So, boys and girls, this is the illustrious, what we call the Wheel of Misfortune. This originated at 105.3 The Fan here in Dallas, the flagship station of the Dallas Cowboys and the Texas Rangers, by the way. On our nighttime show, the KNC Masterpiece, it's Kevin and Corey. My partner on the Colby Sapp and IndyCar Tim show was a part of that. And basically, this was a challenge wheel where if you screwed something up, you got caught misquoting a stat, you spoke a word salad that didn't make sense, just literally anything could nominate you for the Wheel of Misfortune. Or if you wanted to place a bet, hey, you know what? I think the Steelers are going to beat the Commanders. Well, I don't. So you say, okay, I'll bet a wheel spin on it. Okay, you lose the bet, you spin the wheel. So what we have here are just challenges. All right.
What's corn nuts?
Trotter juice, pepper challenge, cranberry, death nut, toenail sandwich, and ham slap. So I've experienced the one that's not on here because once we do something, we take it off and rotate it. But the one that I had to do this season was known as the mouse trap.
Okay.
So, JP, you've been here to the building before. Yeah. Outside of our studio here, way out there, we have a long ass hallway. It goes all the way down to the stairs. It goes down to the vending, and it continues to go that way about, 30 more feet. So we went and bought 100 mouse traps, lined them along the hallway, set them. Tim had to be blindfolded and walk barefoot from one end of the hallway down to the other one and back without trying to trip.
What was the egregious thing you did wrong to suffer such a fate?
I don't remember what. Probably a stupid bet. Like I said, Daniel Jones is going to the Hall of Fame or something like that.
Oh, well, then you deserve that. Okay. Yeah, then you deserved it.
Oh, yeah. And that's the biggest one we've had to do. We have another one called Stink Coffin.
How many times did you get smacked?
0. I made it all the way.
What?
It was very anticlimactic.
How do you go 100 of them?
100 of them, and it was spread over the course of a 5 foot wide by 80 foot hallway. And I had to go all the way down blindfolded and all the way back, and I didn't clip one of them. I'm just lucky.
Peeking. You were peeking.
I wasn't peeking. Trust me, that blindfold was.
You're
tight.
one of those Marco Polo guys that peeks.
We got it on video. I need to find the video somewhere. I don't know if I can find. I'll try to find it because we got video. My favorite ones though on here, of course, toenail sandwich. That's where, say, JP lost the bet. He has to eat a toenail sandwich. That means I get to clip my toenails.
Oh, God.
And strategically place, 2 to 3 to 4 toenail. Not the whole thing, just 3. And he doesn't know where they are, and he has to eat the sandwich.
No.
All right, we do that.
I could die. I could be killed.
The ham slap is literally what it sounds like. So the big challenge that everybody saw on social media was the tortilla slap, whatever. It's the same thing, but it's with a ham steak.
That could kill you too.
Thick ham steak, and you just close your eyes, count to 3, and usually we slap you on 2, so you're not expecting it.
Oh my God! You knock somebody out with that ham steak.
Obviously, the pepper challenge. We had the 1 chip challenge where we had to do that. Almost killed our compatriot Big Red here in the studio. He had to quit the show.
See, all these things are just way too dangerous for me. I'm not a big fan of pain. Just not.
Death nut getting kicked in the crotch.
Yeah, no thanks.
Back when we were at the fan studios and we had Dallas Cowboys regularly coming in and out of the studio, one of the challenges was a Cowboys tackle, where we had former Cowboys great and Patriots Jesse Holley, wide receiver, who's a big dude, by the way, Literally, you're standing closed with your eyes closed in the hallway, and he just runs up from behind you and tackles you as hard as he possibly can.
Yeah, see, there seems like a lot of liability involved in these.
Sure. That's why they made us quit doing it at the station.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So
we're
we
back in
brought
the
it
good
here.
old days when we could kill people.
So that's what it is. These aren't all the challenges. These are just some of the ones that are up here now. Like I said, Stink Coffin was one. Oh, the one that Colby had to pay off was, I forgot what we named it, but he was literally, as we're doing the show for a segment, someone is standing in the back corner behind us, shooting him with a BB gun. Randomly shooting him with a BB gun in the back of the legs. No headshots. But, from like 5 feet away. So he did an entire 20-minute segment with randomly someone shooting him in the back with a
What
BB
did those welts look like?
They're pretty bad. Yeah,
They were pretty sick, man.
It's great,
and
man.
really drunk too, probably.
Well, I was.
Oh my God, yeah.
But it was fun, man.
We have a lot of hammered.
We have a lot of fun with it, and if the Stars and the Lightning make it to the Stanley Cup Finals against each other, or the Cowboys and Bucks in the NFC Championship game, or if the Rays and Rangers play another playoff series, we may have to bring the wheel into it, JP.
Yeah, I'm not doing any of that stuff. To be honest with you, call me.
Maybe we'll find some sissy ones that JP could do that he won't get killed.
Yeah, well, also I am a business owner, and I think the liability might be a problem here. Call me crazy. All right, the college football playoff reveal was done last night, and of course everybody's losing their mind because Boise State came in 13th, Georgia was 12th, even though they went down to Texas and whooped that Longhorn ass, right? So Boise State would move into the 12th spot as the 5th highest ranked conference champion, and Georgia would be out. Just here to tell you, folks, that would never happen in the final poll. So here's the rest of the poll. Oregon is number 1 at 10-0, virtue of their win at Ohio State. Ohio State is 8-1. Their only loss to Oregon. Texas is at 8-1, the number 3 team, but lost to Georgia at home. Penn State is 8-1 and has beaten absolutely nobody. Indiana is 10-0. They've beaten absolutely nobody. BYU is 9-0 at number 6. I'm trying to think what their quality win is. Nothing comes to mind. Tennessee is 8-1, and they're number 7. Notre Dame is 8-1. They just beat Florida State. Woo! Miami 9-1. They fall to number 9, but they're still in. Alabama 7-2 is at number 10. Ole Miss with their big win this week at number 11. Georgia is number 12, as we mentioned. Boise State 8-1 would be would host the game. So as the bracket would go, first round be Boise State at number. I guess they wouldn't host. No, I guess not. Boise State number 12 at Ohio State. Number 11 Ole Miss at Penn State. Number 10 Alabama at number 7 Indiana. That'd be weird, right? We're going to go play up in Indiana instead of in the snow on December 20th instead of playing at Alabama. Notre Dame would play at number 8 Tennessee. That would be crazy. December 20th, Neyland Stadium, Notre Dame playoff game. Holy moly, 110,000 people. Yikes.
That would be awesome.
That would be great. That'd be of all those matchups, like Ole Miss at Penn State, that would be pretty cool. That would be a snowy field, right?
Yeah.
So the Boise State at Ohio State, that's kind of the Cinderella thing we were hoping for, right? Get one of those games.
See some of those, yeah.
Yeah, we want to see some of those. So then the host teams hosting would be, as we project Miami to win the ACC. I don't know why we project that right now, but you have to. They would face the winner of Boise State and Ohio State, and that would be a quarterfinal game. So that would not be on home. That would be in one of the neutral site games. And then you'd have BYU against the Ole Miss Penn State winner. You'd have this can't be right. It says Georgia against Alabama, Tennessee. Georgia would not be in, but I guess they're projecting Georgia to win the SEC.
Right.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
They would host Alabama or Indiana, and Oregon would host Notre Dame, Tennessee winner. Then you get the semifinals, and then away you go. So, yeah, the quarterfinals would be the Fiesta Bowl on December 31st, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl on January 1st, Rose Bowl on January 1st, and then the Sugar Bowl on January 1st. That would be all quarterfinals. Then the semifinals would be the Orange Bowl on Thursday, January 9th, and the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. That'd be played at AT&T Stadium, by the way.
Yep.
January 10th. So you have 2 different nights for that. And then the National Championship, Monday, January 20th. That's a lot of big football games we got coming up, bro.
Big time.
That's exciting. That's a
the
lot.
whole point of this, right? That's the whole point.
That's the whole point of it. It's like we now have like 2 NFL playoffs.
Yeah.
This is going to be freaking awesome. So excited about this. And all these teams will change. And by the way, this is what's really cool. You know who's still in it? Texas A&M.
Yeah.
SMU.
At 15.
Kansas State has a pathway. Colorado at 17 has a pathway. Can we get, say what you will. Can we get Dion in the playoff? I mean, you want to talk
about it. It could happen. They can still win the Big 12.
Absolutely they can. Washington State, homeless Washington State. Is it 8-1?
Yeah.
I guess they have a pathway. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Clemson is at 7-2. Who's going to play for the ACC team?
Technically, Washington State and Oregon State are still in the Pac-2, right?
I don't know how that works.
Because if you go to the Pac-12 website, it lists them as the only 2 members.
So could they be the highest ranked other conference?
But they're not in the power. There's only 4 power conferences now because they don't include the Pac-12 anymore.
So would they be continued? So if say Boise State were to lose, and Washington State, keeps moving up.
They'd have to, right?
Would they be the highest ranked non-conference champion or highest ranked non-Power 5 conference champion? Fifth highest ranked conference champion, I guess is how they say it.
Right.
Would they be a conference champion?
Technically, right? It's still a conference. Is it a recognized conference, though?
I don't know.
Because there are places out there that I see that says Oregon State and Washington State are independents.
Yeah. What are we doing with Army at 9-0?
They're number 24 in the poll.
I know. If they finish 12-0,
are we
they're going to play for the AAC championship. So there's a lot to be done still. There's a lot to be done. And I'm here for it. Should be fun.
Yeah.
But I know people are losing their minds. Georgia's not in. We got a long way to go, folks. We got a long way to go. This will all work out. But I still think it's going to be, we all said 12 teams. Nobody will be arguing about the last team in. Well, here we are.
Here we are, right?
Here we are.
Want to bet?
Here we are. And it's going to be fun. It is going to be so much fun. I can't wait. I'm like thinking to myself, we got this game on a Friday night, this game on a Saturday. And the college football season is going to go to the 20th, January 20th. So, yeah, we're going to be watching a lot of football, my friend. Other things that happened. Can you please address Dion to the Cowboys? Is this for real?
It is real in the sense that the media is discussing it. I don't think it's a real thing.
I don't think Jerry would do it?
I don't think Dion would do it.
Why?
I don't think he wants to. I don't think Dion wants to coach in the NFL.
I don't either.
I know he's on public record as saying that several times, but that always doesn't mean anything, right?
Right. Yeah.
I really don't think he wants to, and I don't think he's going to be a college coach for very long after his kids are graduated in the NFL. I don't think that's going to be a thing.
So what's he going to do? Go back to TV?
Retire. Yeah, and he'll go back on TV. I don't think he's not bad at it, obviously. But I don't think he's going to enjoy it as much without his kids there.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I think part of the fascination of Dion as a coach is because he's coaching his kids and how great they are.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a great recruiter.
No.
And I don't think he would be nearly as successful without his...
He's got to go find another quarterback, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I
think Jason Witten to the Cowboys is a way better likelihood than Deion Sanders.
By the way, programming note, Leo Haggerty is moving to tomorrow to talk USF. BJ Daniels will be with us in studio tomorrow. So our first in-studio guest, our first in our new studio in South Tampa. So that'll be fun. So, Tim, you got to help me hook up that other microphone because we'll have 3 in there tomorrow.
Yep.
with Nick as well. So,
by the way, breaking NFL news: Anthony Richardson has been named the starting quarterback for the Colts.
He's back
this week.
He's back. Did you see that moment with him and who was the coach? Kevin
Callahan.
Kevin, I think it was Kevin O'Connell from the Vikings.
Oh, yeah. The audio. I heard the audio of it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, he
Seems
said, hang in there.
Biggest coach speak ever.
Yeah, hang in there, kid. You'll be fine. He said you're a bad dude. Like,
That
well,
might
that's
be true.
racist. That's racist. Surprised somebody didn't come up. He called him a bad dude, man. He called him a young black.
Jesus.
What else? Oh, by the way, did you watch Kentucky Duke last night? I got
Watched a little bit of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a little 3-team parlay going yesterday.
Take the over.
I did take the over, which lost, by the way. Thank you, TJ, for that. But then I said, you know what? I'm going to get a little froggy here. I'm going to go a little 3-team parlay, and I said I'm going to take UCF. They won last night, and then I said, you know what? I'm going to bet on Shea's team. Belmont and Lipscomb were playing last night in the Battle of Nashville, and I said I'm going to go with Belmont to win. Get some good odds there. And they had the upset win with a 3-point play, 80-79 in the final seconds. The kid got a 3-point play, made the free throw to win the game. So then I needed Kentucky to upset Duke, and they were down, 9.5? And so they came back, hit a couple free throws. Cooper Flagg, the great first overall pick of the NBA. We've already decided this for Duke. Played over at Mount Dora, and they said he got the ball twice with a chance to win it and turned it over both times to give JP the parlay win. A little $200 nice little clip there.
You deserve to be on that end of that a couple times, right? Like
I've been on the ass end of that so many times.
On the other side of it.
I've been on this like gazillions of times. Like, I got 2 of them in that little parlay. Wow. Thank you, Lord. That was nice. And the Winnipeg Jets won again last night, and they'll be coming in here tomorrow night, having won 14-15. But I did not know this, but they've played a terrible schedule. What's that? 15-1 now. Yeah, they won. So, and as Ashley calls them now, the winning Peg Jets.
The winning Peg Jets.
So they're coming into Amalie Arena tomorrow night to face a playoff team. They haven't. I think they faced one playoff team so far from last year. Incredibly soft schedule. And now the next 9 of their next 10 are going to be on the road, I think. Some crazy schedule.
You think they'd like to have them back in Atlanta right about now that they're winning?
You think?
It's only been, 13 years, 14 years?
And that, and they were like this close, I was told, to building a new arena in North Atlanta, in Gwinnett, or when they actually ended up building a little arena in Gwinnett. Yeah. They were going to move them up in northern Atlanta instead of downtown. Like
kind of where the Braves are now?
Yeah, they were this close to building a new, just a hockey-only arena before they moved. I think that would have been wildly successful.
I mean, Atlanta's given up now 2 NHL teams. I don't think they get a third chance ever, right?
No,
maybe unless the politics change.
No, I don't think so.
Calgary's thanking them very much for the Flames, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that'll ever happen. All right, I think we got everything in. Thank you, partner. Great stuff. If you missed that incredible presentation in the first part of the show with props. Big thanks to Ashley for, look at that. Look how that was beautiful. We'll do some more whiteboard stuff. $2.45 billion. Is that what you think is worth to keep the Rays for 15,000 average attendance? Go for it. So we had our props. If you missed that whole presentation, check it out. Apple, Spotify always has a podcast, but you can't see it. So you got to go to YouTube. Like and subscribe on our YouTube page, JP Peterson Show, FanStream Sports. You can watch us anytime, anywhere, also on X and on Facebook. Have a great day, everybody. We'll be back in studio tomorrow with BJ Daniels. His history will be made in the FanStream Sports Tampa Bay studio. Be there.